Hello? It's another beautiful day at TFL. Can you guess which car I'm driving this week? I will give you the lay of the land. Will it be the Trail Boss, the Willys, the Mustang, the Corvette, the Aston Martin, the i8, the Mini Countryman, the Ranger Raptor, the new 4Runner, or the Jeep Wrangler? I'll give you a hint, and it's my hair and also my sunglasses. I don't really know if they count as sunglasses because they do not block the sun at all. If you guessed the Mini Countryman, you are correct! That is what Mary is driving this week, you guys. This guy is new to the fleet. It's one of the bigger minis known in the mini community, and it's from 2015. Kind of cute, isn't she? Do you understand what I was trying to do with my hair? Because it's like all bubbly. Look familiar? Okay, so Mini is a very curious, strange, funky little company, manufacturer, what have you. They are, for lack of a better word, a little weird. Quirky, maybe, is a better word. I think weird is awesome, but some people get a little touchy about the word weird. So here's what happened. I was like, start. Looks like it's a push start. Sick. Let's start her up. No. They gave me a dead car. That was my first thought. Then I thought, Mary, you've worked at TFL long enough to know that sometimes starting a car, it's stuck in my pocket. Sometimes starting a car means you need the key. Always starting a car, you need the key. But I was like, this shape looks suspiciously like that shape. That fits snug right in there, maybe now. And I was right. Oh, this is cute, look at this. It's almost empty. Okay, so right off the bat, bubbles galore, dude. All the circles in here. Hence my little space puns and my crazy sunglasses. It is the quirkiest design I've ever seen. And that is what Mini is sort of known for. Like I said, they're kind of quirky and weird. So we're gonna drive it for a week and see if quirky things are also functional things. Does that make sense? Okay. Manual adjustments here. Normal shifter, more or less. Gotta like press that little thing in. Okay, we're not gonna hit the barn. No backup camera, which is how I've lived my whole life, so we're fine there. I feel like I'm driving a little clown car. But like a clown that is a Formula One driver, maybe? I feel like when you think of something that's kind of quirky or weird, your first thought is not about its functionality. Your first thought is about like how it looks. So like I'm thinking like a teapot, right? Like you can get a normal shaped teapot, or you can get a teapot that's shaped like a strawberry. Both function like teapots, but the first time you look at a strawberry shaped teapot, you're not thinking about like, ooh, I can't wait to make tea in that. You're thinking about like, that looks like a strawberry. Do you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Mini, it's kind of like, wow, that's a funky little guy. Is funky functional? Can funky be functional and not just funky? Is it usable? Is it livable? Etc. So that's what this week is all about. So the manufacturer Mini is a British manufacturer, technically. They were bought by BMW in 1994. BMW actually purchased the Rover Group in 1994, which Mini was a part of. So, Minis nowadays have British roots, but German guts, like the powertrain and the engine and the like. But you can definitely feel kind of the British quirkiness of it. As I mentioned, all the bubbles, even the date on this dashboard. It says 1.4.25. As an American, you're looking at saying that's January 4th, 2025. But if you're in Britain, or really anywhere in Europe, that is April 1st. Because they put the day, the month, the year, which kind of makes more sense. You do smallest to biggest, day, month, year, not month, day, year, but whatever. Americans are weird, but so is this car. Obviously, she needs a name. I am bouncing between two options. One, Minnie, like Minnie Mouse, but that feels a little bit too on the nose, and so the other one that I'm leaning towards is Molly. Molly feels like a blue car, doesn't it? Oh my God, a cow. That was a big cow. Do you want me to do a British accent for you? The Mini Countryman, I feel like this is going to get really annoying really fast. Sometimes it turns into like an Australian accent. The Australian accent's a little different than the British. The British is a little bit softer, a little bit more refined. But when you slip into the Australian, it's a little bit more like crikey. Like Steve Irwin, God bless. Rest in peace. This does have a CD player. Let's see what the radio has to offer.
show away that
This feels like this car.
The spiritual warfare that takes place.
Spiritual warfare.
Never expected that it would be the last time she'd see him alive.
Oh, God.
Or single barrel bourbon.
Single barrel bourbon.
Y es que Selena era muy querida.
Como querida, español.
There you go.
There you go. Slay, Tim McGraw. 2.7 seconds on a golden Kool-Aid shoe. Fleetwood Mac, of course. Mariachi, quizás? Oh, Queen. So that's what's on the radio these days. Good to know. Those are pelicans. What's happening today? Guys, can someone please Google if there are pelicans in Boulder? Now we're talking about functionality, right? Oh, the GoPro fell out. My queen, why have you fallen? You good? Ow. Now, when we're talking about functionality, in this case, funky functionality, and I'm really following this funky train. Look at these pants! Aren't these fun? Anyway, functionality, especially when you're talking about vehicles, one of those assets is space, and it's called the Mini. In my head, that means it's mini, it's tiny. I am aware that the Countryman, this particular Mini, is one of the bigger ones, but like realistically, it is, okay, let me be honest, it's not terribly roomy, but it's roomy enough. Like you don't feel terribly squished. It doesn't feel like the backseat of a truck. Functionally, in terms of space, the Countryman kind of nailed it. There's 2 cup holders back here. The speakers are on the doors. The funky quirkiness continues back here with the bubbliness. What about the back? Tommy said, good luck opening the trunk. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't see how to open it. Now this might mean something. Okay, all right, you gotta push the little mini thing in. That's kind of cute. So not a ton of space back here, if we're being real. Of course, like in any car, you can't push that second row down. Like you can comfortably sit back there if you want to break the law. When they told me I'd be doing the Mini for this series, they were like, guess what, Mare? It has all-wheel drive. So if you encounter snow or rain or any inclement weather of any kind, you'll be fine. And I was like, you know what? It was 70 degrees last week in Colorado. I don't need to worry about snow. I was wrong. I've lived in Colorado my whole life. I really should know better by now. I should know better by now, but c'est la vie, as the French say. So we get to have a real life review of how the Mini does in the snow. And I'm also gonna tell you a little bit about the specs. I'm not the specs girl, but I will take you through those because you deserve to know them. Let's do it. My hair is bothering me. Ah! Oh my goodness. Okay, it's still turned on. That's always good for a sign. This is kind of what I mean about like, it looks a bit like a video game. It goes bloop and shows you, it was a little blurry, but it shows you like, it's cold outside. And you're like, thank you, I didn't know that. All right, so. Windshield wipers, functional. We love to see it. Does it have rear windshield? It does. We're gonna let her warm up for a second. All right, we're doing it to him. Oh man, that guy was smoking a cigarette on his front porch. All the power to you, young man. He was probably like 67. Okay, so the good news is this is not the kind of like icy snow that people tend to make driving mistakes in. So let's talk about this little F1 clown car. When I say clown car, I don't mean that derogatorily. I mean it in the way that it just is a goofy looking lady, Miss Molly. So the Mini Countryman S, this version is an S, and I forgot to mention that. I'm sure you saw it when I was showing you the car, but it is a subcompact utility vehicle. That is its genre, if you will. And like I was saying before, the quirkiness of it is, I think, maybe why a lot of people like steer clear of it. It's just kind of like you don't want your car to look funky, which is why a lot of people cross-shop it, or rather just decide on vehicles like the 2015 Ford Escape, the Nissan Kicks, or the Mazda CX-5. Those are kind of Miss Molly's competitors. All right, so I feel safe driving in the snow. That's really all you have to know. I don't really feel like the car can't handle it. Granted, it is not very icy, it's just a little wet, but all-wheel drive. And it comes with a few options. You can get this as the manual, with a manual transmission, and that bumps up your fuel economy by 1. So the manual transmission all-wheel drive has 27 mpg combined, and then this one's the automatic. Yes, the automatic, because I can't drive a manual, but raise your hand if you want to see me learn. But this one is the automatic, and it has 26 mpg combined. Not terrible. Not awesome, but not terrible. Because it is a sport utility vehicle, it focuses a lot more on zippiness and handling. So when they first designed the Mini, they pushed the wheels all the way out to the corners to make it easier around tight turns. The sacrifice that was made with that is it is a pretty stiff ride. I would not call this incredibly comfortable, at least not if you're like comparing it to like an incredibly luxurious vehicle. It's just not super floaty. So it is a stiff ride, and if you don't mind that and you like to stand out, Mini might be the way to go. This car does require premium unleaded, which is a bummer because that is pricey, but it's because it has a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. So she just requires a little bit more love and care. And you know, it is a little lurchy, pushes out 181 horsepower with 177 pound-feet of torque. I did do my research for you guys. I might be a silly little woman in a silly little clown car, but I do my research. So yeah, it's a little stiff, a little lurchy, and the handling is very sharp. I wind around a lot of turns on my commute, and I gotta say they felt the best in this one. Thank you, Colorado, for your temperamental weather decisions. All right, loading up my back seat as always. As you know, I always have way too much stuff. Okay, cool. Check out my leather jacket, you guys. It's from Spain. Putting in the weird key situation. Hello. Wow, that's a lot of sounds. It feels very like old-timey retro, which I kind of dig. When I was researching the history of the Mini, it's so fun. So it was in Britain, post-World War II, and the Suez Crisis was sending Britain into an economic tizzy. Things were bad. Prices were soaring, higher than Big Ben himself. So the head honcho over at the Morris Company, and his name was Sir Leonard Lord, which is very British, challenged his top engineer, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, but his top engineer's name was Alec Isogenes. That sounds wrong. His top engineer, he said, hey, things are looking bad. I have a challenge for you. Create a small, fuel-efficient vehicle that's capable of seating 4 adult people and make it economically reachable, economically affordable for everyone. So Mr. Alec said, you got it, boss, and started designing the Mini. And it's kind of hard to spot if you don't really know it, but like the wheels and the tires push out towards the 4 corners of the car, which is kind of what gives it like that bug-like look. He pushed the 4 wheels to the corner to give the passenger some more space, and he also turned the engine on its side so that the cabin had more room and that it had more stability around tight corners. And so the first like fully designed Mini was ready in 1959, and it just like took Europe by storm, and it became kind of a cultural icon. And now, all these years later, it is still a flourishing brand. So this is the 2015, so 10 years has passed, and now they have the 2025, is actually for the first time being manufactured in Germany on BMW lines. So that's kind of cool. And the Mini website actually said that that partnership with BMW has taken Mini to its most Mini-ness. I love learning about the history of these cars because they didn't just come out of nowhere, you know? Cars have personalities. The personality of Miss Molly, I have officially named her Molly. If you hate that decision, please tell me what you think I should have named her. She is hardworking. She doesn't take herself too seriously because she knows she's kind of eccentric. I feel like I've overused the word quirky, but she is a little quirky. She's the type of gal who, you know, enjoys doing puzzles and eating crumpets in her mid-20s. Am I a Mini Cooper? If I was a car, what car would I be? There's not a right answer. So anyway, I have perhaps worn down the word quirky. So I actually do want to take you through the various quirks. I mean, look. It looks like a bug with the big bulgy eyes, kind of that wide smile, the tiny little grill that kind of, if you look at it the right way, could look like a little mustache. Andre told me that when you pop the hood, let's pop it, lock it, polka dot it, the eyes come up with it. So let's see here. There we go. It's like it's wearing a little mask. This is its little Superman mask. So that goes down over the eyes. Very, very quirky. The second thing that I have noticed a lot is the cohesiveness. The ovals. The rear view mirror is an oval. The side view mirrors are ovals. The headlights are ovals. It's very cohesive. It believes in the bubbling. Very circular vents. I actually really like these because it makes it easier to angle it where you actually want it. Obviously the key is a quirk. We've already been through how much I struggled with turning the car on. Hear that little doo doo? Oh, the Mickey Mouse shape here. Also, this is the speedometer, and that is the RPM gauge. It also does show you your miles per hour right there, but I mean, this is ginormous. Also, Tommy was saying that it is a little bit remnant of like old sports cars. What's this one? This one seems to be missing. Those little switches continue up here. The only reason I don't like this because you can't tell, like this one, I don't know what that's doing. Oh, nice. So you can't really tell when something's on or off because usually it's like on, off, but this one stays the same. Same thing happens for the blinker. Usually in a car, you know, you push it up and it stays up there. Not the Mini, it falls back down and the blinker's still on. So you have to like push it back up to turn the blinker off. Not a huge deal, but it is a quirk. Oh, here's something. The middle console is a little bit of a joke. Oh, sounds like my back in the morning. There is a little button here, which allows you to open up the center console, which kind of has a whale-like quality. There's also this little guy that slides forwards and backwards. I can only assume that's for like sunglasses or what have you. Another fun thing, double visors. You can also pull this one over if you want like a layered situation, but Minnie thought ahead on that one. However, the passenger side does not have that, so only the driver's vision matters, which is kind of true. I did find the aux cord port. It's right here, it's right behind the shifter. Also, the thing about the shifter, it's pretty normal, but you do have to press this in and then pull back, and that also took me a second to figure out. So they're doing things to be different, they're doing things to be unique, and I kind of love it. So my friends, what's your verdict? Can funky be functional? My answer to that question is of course. It's a dumb question to begin with. Like, of course something that looks non-traditional can still be functional and can function perfectly normally, just like anything else. It comes back to my teapot example, right? If it's shaped like a strawberry, it still functions like a teapot. It's just that you get to enter this world of whimsy where it's just a little bit more fun to use. And that is how I think of the Mini now that I've driven it. It is a little stiff, like I said, very stiff handling. Not necessarily like an uncomfortable ride, but definitely a stiffer ride in terms of ride quality. But yeah, like the Mini is the perfect example of something that goes beyond the scope of normalcy and into the world of whimsy, into the corner of quirky. And it is a great car. I would drive this car personally. You get some head turns, you get some conversation starters, and you still get to go fast, you get to save gas. It's very fuel efficient, and it's held up. It stood the test of time. But that's just me. Not everybody would think that necessarily. A lot of people will be like, nah, I'm gonna keep my normal looking car because I don't need to look funky. I don't need to be weird. And all the power to you as well. But, you know, life can get mundane, and this is not a mundane car. So thank you for joining me on this jaunty journey, and may you be silly and thrive. And that's all I have to say. You might agree, you might disagree, you might kind of agree, you might kind of disagree. Whatever it is, I hope you had a good time. Let me know what you want me to drive back and forth next, because it's always an adventure. Okay, bye.